Base is dropped. Where is it? Where am I? There it is. Hi. I'll get this figured out at some point. Like I said, my main goal is to get this figured out, and so everything when we get into the regular season is fairly seamless. John, here you there. Thanks for dropping by. It's a Wall Pass Wednesday here on the network. And once again, whatever's on your mind, bring it to the table. Thanks to everybody who dropped by yesterday for the Power Hour Plus. 70 minutes of conversation involving transfers and thoughts and ideas and almost leading into today with Wall Pass Wednesday. Tyler Pilgrim dropping by at 9:15-ish to talk about all of that stuff in our Atlanta United journalistic reportage information exchange program, as we always have. Morning, Derek. Morning, Alex. Morning, Ricky. So, rundown for today is Tyler in hour number one, where we'll discuss a lot of things. I sent Tyler a bit of a rundown as to what I wanted to talk about this morning. So, we'll get into Atlanta United. We'll get into other things. And once again, whatever's on your mind this morning, bring it to the table, and we'll talk about it in the Twitch pitch. Hour two is when we'll get into that, plus all of the AM news, all of the AM reports, any updates that you, with your faster fingers, can find before I can find them. So that's hour number two this morning, and we'll be off and running here in the midweek. Tomorrow, once again, hour number one is the traditional wide open time. Hour number two is the power hour with Nino and Nico. And Nino will be getting a question and answer session about a player from Benfica. We'll talk about Cabral and find out what he has seen involving Cabral and his time at Benfica. And we'll come in with Nico Moreno at 10:30, last half hour of the show, somewhere in there-ish. And we'll go for a half hour. So we'll go around the world in 30 minutes with Nino Torres from Gold TV. And we'll go around Major League Soccer in 30 minutes with Nico Moreno and deal with and all the Q&A that you guys have there. So that'll be the Power Hour. Friday is the traditional wide open Power Hour, where really a show where we get you ready for Birmingham. And I may try and see what Kaylor Hodges is up to. I may just try and see what Kaylor has when it comes to everything going on USL Championship. And there has been a lot going on. And Birmingham Legion, what to expect. Some big pickups for Legion coming into the 25 season that Kaylor is really high on. So I may try and see if we can sneak Kaylor out of class. Reminder, after the match on Saturday, it will be that Monday night. So Saturday night, go to Monday night. And it will be a post-match show. Kaylor will be there. I think we're going to be joined from some folks from Birmingham Legion. Knock on favorite devices. Tyler will be there to hang out with us, and we'll discuss everything Atlanta United. We'll discuss what's on your mind, and we'll be there. Start time, we're thinking 7:30 Eastern. So it's, I think, a 4:30 Eastern start for Atlanta United Birmingham Legion. Then after the match is over and we get all of our post game, we can sprint over to Monday night. And thanks to Scott Flood and the Flood Project for dialing all of that up for us. And we can be there with you guys and catch up with you. And we'll have guests and conversation and gnashing of teeth and, all the other things of gossip, rumor, and innuendo and all of that. So we'll get into that Saturday night at Monday night, if that makes any sense. So, and there you go. That's the rundown for the next couple of days. So looking forward to hanging out with all of you and seeing all of you as we go at Monday night, at Protective, and here for the remainder of the week. So I think I've dialed it back up with everything. All right, opening kickoff brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. Once again, start your day with our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. Buy out the whole store. But when you buy out the whole store, what you can do is use the code SoccerDownHere15 at checkout, and you can buy out the whole store and spend only 85% of what you would have. So you still have 15% left over. SoccerDownHere15 at checkout saves you 15%. Our friends at Kickoff Coffee, in turn, take 10%, reinvest it in youth games, youth initiatives. Very, very cool stuff at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. So I'm just going to use Kickoff Coffee since Tyler's coming in about 5 minutes. I'm going to just use it to do all the promos. All right. So go to Olive and York. You can get the first ever Soccer Down Here jersey, and it is navy, and you can have it personalized either with white letters and numerals or light blue letters and numerals. So it can either be like a Carolina blue on a navy or a white on a navy, and personalize it however you wish. And thanks to our friends at Kaiser Permanente, Scott Flood and the Flood Project, Beyond Girls Mentoring, all proceeds for that head to our Soccer for Good elements that we are trying to help out in the year 2025. Now, Grady Baby Co. You can go there, and you've seen me wear it on the air occasionally, traditionally once a week, twice if I can't find anything else in a quick time frame to put on before I'm on the air. Grady Baby and Grady Baby Co. You see me wear, and you've seen Jason wear it. Soccer's just better in Atlanta. The collaboration with our friends at Grady Baby and Grady Baby Co. What we do there is you help out middle school soccer programs attached to Atlanta Public Schools with your purchase and the proceeds that have been earmarked for that. So Grady Baby Co. Soccer is just better in Atlanta. You can get it in the red, you can get it in the black, and once again, you're helping out middle school soccer programs in the in Atlanta Public School system for diving in and helping out our friends with Grady Baby and Grady Baby Co. With Soccer is just better in Atlanta. Marshall Islands. I actually got an order for one of the scarves. What happens is when folks go to the Marshall Islands store and they purchase either the 25 the this year's release of the 2030 No Home jersey or the previous jersey from our friends at Player Layer, they'll get the bucket hat, they'll get all the gear, they'll get the jerseys, then they'll get the scarves. Scarf orders come to me like from around the planet. I've sent stuff to Qatar and Dubai and the UAE and the Middle East and Europe and Canton actually popped up. So something local. So thanks to the local folks who are purchasing Marshall Island scarves. This individual lives in Canton, which is about a good 45 minutes to an hour north of Office HD. So it's going to be in the mail. But I reached out to that individual yesterday, called them because in the receipt, I get the notification of, okay, here's what's going on, and here's where you're sending it. Someone to Terre Haute, Indiana the other day. And so it was really cool to see a Georgia-based purchase. Yes, I'm still going to have to ship it, but nevertheless, go to the Marshall Islands store. Everything else that you buy, they ship. The scarves we ship because I have them on the other side of that door. So the Marshall Islands scarves, when you go to the Marshall Islands store to help out the last country on this planet to start up a national soccer program, I go to the other side of this door, grab a scarf, put it in an envelope, and then I put it in the mail. So you can get all that stuff. You can get all the other things except for the scarves. You can get them on the other side of the door. So there you go. All right. That is, I think that's all of the updates when it comes to all of the things that are going on involving us here at SDH and all the things that we are trying to do here in 2025 when it comes to Soccer for Good and helping it grow the game. Because remember, yesterday we're under 500 days. We are under 500 days before the World Cup, before the world ascends on this particular hemisphere. That's the fun part. And so the work continued yesterday, and we were out at the National Training Center to see the next stage in that process. And so you've got all of that stuff going on. You got the Club World Cup coming this spring and summer, because I was trying to figure out the dates. And so it is spring and summer because it's like May, June, and June 21st, I think, is solstice. And so that's when things change. So spring and summer, you got Club World Cup, you got Leagues Cup, you've got Open Cup, just not involving Atlanta United. And you've got CONCACAF, and you have MLS and all the things going on. So it is a year. It is yet another year of soccer that we will have for you here at the SDH Network. So obviously looking forward to all of this stuff. So to talk about what happened yesterday, let me see if I can filibuster to 9:15 on my clock, because he's got to properly hydrate as well, before he comes on. No, actually, it is 9:15. So screw it. I'm bring him in. All right. So it is Tyler, and the Atlanta United Information Exchange and Journalistic Program continues here on Wednesdays, as it always does in hour number one. Hi.
Howdy. How are you?
Trying to figure out where I put my hard hat from yesterday. Where is your hard hat, by the way? Attaboy.
I came prepared.
There it is. Yesterday, part of the fun that we get to do sometimes if we have to roll out of the rack earlier than normal. For you, it was probably what, a 10-minute drive?
I wish. It was still honestly 45 minutes, but it's
What?
45 minutes of no interstate, which is
Eh.
no, it's great. I love no interstate. I love back roads. I love not having to sit in traffic.
Well, I was
So
thinking just the stops and the starts of all the stoplights and all that other stuff that,
I would rather be stopped by stop signs and red lights than people who don't know how to drive.
Oh, yeah. No, I had on the way yesterday to the to-do at the National Training Center, the Arthur M. Blank U.S. Soccer National Training Center, sorry, brought to us by the Home Depot. Um, there was a two-car insurance seminar in front of the, establishment where I stopped to get gasoline.
Two-car insurance. I'm sorry. I've heard a lot of referrals to car accidents, and I've never heard that. That's good. I like that.
Well, and I can't take full credit because of someone who is of a certain vintage that, when radio was actually radio and it was something that you listened to, either AM or FM, the amplitude modulation or the frequency modulation, not having to do with anything involving satellites or iPods or anything like that. Um, there would be the traffic reports, and you get the traffic reports on AM radio these days locally on local radio. And there was a God rest his soul, the one of the kings of traffic reporting, and he would refer to accidents as X number of car insurance seminars. You know,
Who are you talking about? You talking about
Keith
you talking about
Callan.
Herb?
Keith Callan.
Oh, okay.
Keith
That's not
was
who.
before Captain Herb.
Okay.
And so Keith was on the GST family. He was on 640, and you kind of had to take because the afternoon drive with 640 at the time was kind of light and goofy, kind of like what we are, except we're in the morning. And so afternoon drive, you got to kind of take it that way. And so how Keith would describe things, and Jarrett can back me up on this. Jarrett was also a disciple of both Captain Herb and Keith Callan, that accidents were insurance seminars, X number of car insurance seminars. When you're going over the top end of 285, you called it the Dunwoody family because it is Peachtree, Ashford, and Chamblee. So he referred to it as the Dunwoody family going up and over 285. And so those kinds of things, you've got to do something quick in 90 seconds to 2 minutes. You've got to interact with the host, all these kind of things. And so that's just something that has stuck with me with Keith Callan. It is a insert number of car here insurance seminar.
I've because I grew up here and I listened to the radio a lot, especially growing up. It was
Mm-hmm.
to me, it was always Herb Dean, you know, rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace.
Yes.
I've never heard that that nickname, as it were, of insurance seminars. I like
Well,
that.
well, and then there was also when you had an automobile or a truck on fire, he would refer to it as an auto flambe.
I like this.
Yeah,
I like this.
so when I'm having conversations with folks, I'm usually referring to auto flambe or I'm referring to an insurance seminar involving automobiles. So
I'm surprised I haven't heard of it more than that because, like, if you're doing multiple times a day traffic updates, you have to make it fun.
mm-hmm.
You have to make it fun.
Yep, and
Um,
so, I mean, there are some things that for those of us in our impressionable time frames that we sit there and it's like, "Oh, yeah, remember that." It's just stuff that you pull as an homage to the whole
yeah.
thing. Are people requesting that you continue to wear the hard hat? Is that what's going on?
No, honestly, I got tired of holding it, holding on to it, and I don't have a great place to put it down. So
See, now that's the thing. You gotta work on that.
oh, I do actually. Hang on.
So, all right, so he's working literally, he is working on a location as we speak to try and figure out, oh, okay, oh, there you go.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
For a minute there, I thought it was a Hulk fist that
I know, right?
you were putting it on.
But I didn't like show the eyes. Everybody was like, "What is that giant green thing you?" have?"
Yes. I was thinking it was just a Hulk fist that you were resting it on before we go. All right. So yesterday, really cool stuff that happened down at the Arthur M. Blank U.S. Soccer National Training Center. The folks that wear a lot of orange, they are now associated with it. Color me shocked. that they would be a part of something like this, but it was a no-brainer, and it was a really cool experience to see this next stage and see where the training center actually is in its growth, considering the last time we were there, they were breaking ground on it, and we went in an entirely different entrance that was a 2-lane road, and now it's paved and it's divided, and there's parking lots, and there's mud, and there's stuff being built, and there's cranes and beams and the whole thing. What'd you think?
I mean, I'm excited. You know, it was obviously this was like this was more about announcing Home Depot as a partner,
Yep.
which is fine. I mean, that you have to do that kind of stuff though, right? And
Yes.
you know, we all talked with David Wright, and he's always really really good about kind of explaining U.S. soccer's mindset behind like why they're doing what they're doing, and I mean, it did not that it needs much explaining. Like Home Depot, it makes so much sense because it's home improvement. It's Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank is the reason that this thing is here. Like they'll always point to the corporate sponsors, which is a big deal. You know, Coca-Cola was the first one that was the big one. But Atlanta has a lot of corporate sponsors or potential corporate sponsors that'll jump on board with something like this. But because Arthur Blank put in as much money as he did to help get it into Metro Atlanta, Home Depot is like the obvious thing. And I'm kind of surprised it took as long as it did before like it actually officially happened.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's I'm impressed with like just kind of the way that it's going to look, like the layout. And I was really I was happy to kind of hear the mindset behind like if you take a look at the map or the blueprints of the entire 130 acres of like actual pitches and buildings and all that. He said, you know, the youth pitches, like the way they've designed the whole thing, it's intentional. Like they have the youth pitches further down the hill, right? Like way down, and you don't realize how big it is until you're there. But it's way down the hill, and then the hill kind of comes up towards the main actual center, the main building. And he said that was intentional because like the youth teams, like the whole idea is for them to always, not only in soccer, in
Make
life,
them walk.
everything, you know. Yeah, no, we're not sending them on a walk just to send them on a walk. It's, you know, they should be able to look up as they're training and kind of that be the goal, right? To get to that senior national team, that moment where they step into, you know, the potential to play in a World Cup, the potential to play in whatever tournament may be happening, you know, Gold Cup, whatever. And so it was just really it was cool to kind of see like the whole layout and design and why it was built the way that it's built or being built the way that it's being built.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I was impressed by it. It's really really big though. It's way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, 200,000 square foot building plus 12 fields and parking lots and entrance ways, and it takes up most of Fayette County. Let's just go ahead and say it that way. It
Yeah.
takes up the entirety of Fayette County. Now, Jarrett's here, and it is time to discuss. Now, I figure when national writers devote like 9 minutes on a subject because people are sitting there wondering, well, how are they spending that kind of money? How can they spend that kind of money? What's the latest on this dude, and this dude? When Tom Bogert sits there and drops like 10 minutes alone on Atlanta United, I feel like we must discuss. And we have been in Teesside Live. We've been looking at the Gazette. We've been looking at the latest on Cabral out of Benfica, Emmanuel Latte Loth. It's scorecards, man. You gotta make sure that you've got all your bookmarks squared away. So, Jarrett, let me start with you. When you look at the latest involving Emmanuel Latte Loth, what is your first reaction and your first emotion that is attached to all of these things?
I just want it to end. I have a lot of questions.
Bring them.
Well, they're not all about ELL. It's about the entire. So first of all, Piontek one seems like it was nothing. Again, man, Turkish sources are straight up the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is. The Turkish sourcing is basically Red Dead Redemption 2, where there's really no good or bad guys here. There's just people.
Mhm.
What are they? We don't know. Are they real? That's a great question. Are they legitimate, or do they have like good sourcing? Another great question. Be fascinating to find out. With I will consistently go back to something Ronnie Dyla said, which is we want guys who want to be here.
Yeah.
If there's questions about Latela or Cabral not wanting to be here, then I'm moving on. I'm not gonna twist your arm to come here.
Yeah.
I'd love you to. Both of them I think would be good fits. But I'm not gonna twist their arm. Hell, man, I have questions about the Kyoga Furuhashi thing with him at Ren now, because so it felt like it was really leaning that way for Atlanta. Then it fell off. Don't know why. There's speculation, whatever. We don't really know why.
Yeah.
I thought Celtic would keep him to the end of the window because they have a Champions League match with Aston Villa. That if they win that match, and I think they need one or two games of help, if they win that match, they're into the last 16 of Champions League immediately without having to go through knockouts. Like as of right now, they're in 18th. They'd have to go through a knockout round. Is what it is. No big deal.
New rules.
If they win, they go straight into knockouts. I figured they would have kept him through that, but man, the second that thing came down the line, he was on a private plane to Rennes.
I need a private.
So my question is, like, was he just looking to get out of Glasgow? Was his issue with coming to the U.S.? Did negotiations fall apart? Was he just like ready to destination anywhere but here?
Yeah.
Like, where did it fall apart for Atlanta with that one? Because that just felt, especially because he left so quickly, it felt like it would have been easier if that one had not fallen apart, to just go ahead and get things going for him in a positive direction. But that obviously wasn't the case. My thing with Burrow and with Benfica on this is get it across the line. I would imagine they have other irons in the fire just in case that we don't know about, that may not be nearly as impactful or as splashy. But yeah, man, I felt the same way that he mentioned in the video yesterday, John, that like it's exhausting how long this has dragged out.
Yeah.
Whether that is him or his agent or Burrow or whoever the hell it is, it's exhausting that this is dragged out, and I don't think it's a good look for really anybody on how it has just seemed to just stagnate and drag. And look, man, depending on how this thing breaks down, the North remembers.
So Tyler, which camp are you in? Yeah, I see the mug. You're busting out you just need to sign like somewhere in there.
I really do.
Because he's got his for those just listening, he's got the Ted Lasso Believe mug out this morning, because we are under a week left in the European window. The hours somewhat differ a little bit, but the more that we see about Emmanuel Latela, which camp do you fall in here? Is this the camp of I'm not a fan of Middlesbrough and how they do business. I'm not a fan of Emmanuel Latela's agent and how he does business. I'm not a fan of Choice D, all of the above, and how they're all doing business. I'm tired of the whole blanking thing. Can somebody please tell me who murdered the housewife in chapter 3? And can we get to the end of this book? Where are you when it comes to the idea right now, specifically of Latela, since that's the biggest name and that's the one that seems to be drawing the most attention? Which camp are you in when it comes to where the anger is vented at about trying to get something done? Who are you sitting there and staring at, or is it Choice D? Get it all done, get it on the table, and get it signed.
Burrow. It just, I we'll never know. And honestly, I was thinking, like, if Latela gets here, I'm gonna ask the question just in general, like, hey, there was a lot of stuff around this transfer. essentially how, what was your, like, what is your like, and this is not how I'm going to ask it, but like, what is your commitment to Atlanta United?
Do you
Because I
want
don't
to
think
be here?
yeah, do you really want to be here? Like, but I don't think it's him as much as it is Burrow. I think honestly, and this is just my opinion, a dude sitting in the middle of Georgia in a closet right now.
Oh, it's your studio space.
It is my studio. Yeah. I just I think Burrow's dragging their feet. I think they're trying to milk that relationship for all it's worth in terms of getting the games that they can get him in and everything else. And of course, like he had the injury. I just don't think it's I don't think it's him. I really don't, because I don't think that he would bomb that kind of move, making that kind of money, and it just seems off to me. I think honestly, I think Burrow's being maybe a little selfish, a little stingy, and I mean, I may be completely wrong with that. It just from everything I've read, and you have to take everything you read as well, like with a grain of salt, because you have local outlets over there putting out stuff that is like refuted, an hour later. It's just it's hard to read, but I feel like Burrow knows what they've got. They're on that edge of getting, into that they're on that playoff kind of contention. So they want to milk that for all it's worth. They have a guy, they have a talented guy. He and Tom put out the video last night. Like he's not waiting on an offer from a Premier League side. Um he is, he's committed to the club, everything else, but he's also like he's a player that Burrow has said they're open to offers. And Atlanta comes in here with this phenomenal offer, and it just doesn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet. So I just feel like there's a little bit of stinginess going on Burrow's side.
Okay.
I wish I could check the box of, it's Burrow. Maybe it's a little bit of the agent. I feel like the agent probably should maybe step a foot in and say like, hey, we need to make this happen. Like the clock is ticking, like or else it's going to fall through and then you're going to be stuck. So I don't know. But it is very, very irritating.
This morning, Jarrett, Craig Johns, who has become our must follow over at Teesside Live, writeth, quote, Middlesbrough's hopes of keeping Emmanuel Latte-Lath this month have been given a boost, as Atlanta United have submitted a serious offer for Benfica striker Arthur Cabral. Like I said, and this is Giles writing. This is how he's phrasing it. Latte-Lath was a top target for the MLS side this month as they submitted a deal worth up to £20 million over a fortnight ago. While the bid wasn't outright rejected by Burra at the time, for reasons that are not completely clear, the bid hasn't materialized into a move for the Ivorian striker. In the meantime, Michael Carrick has continued to select Latte-Lath, with the striker maintaining his fine form, 2 goals in recent weeks. That was until the weekend when he pulled up early in the defeat to Preston North and had to be withdrawn with a groin problem. As yet, the exact extent of the injury suffered by Latte-Lath is unknown, with Carrick due to give his next press conference Friday afternoon ahead of Sunderland's visit next Monday night. Teesside Live have been told that Latte-Lath leaving Borough this month is now highly unlikely, though it wasn't made clear whether that was injury-related or just because the MLS move was not going to come to fruition in the end. Borough do have targets in mind if Latte-Lath were to leave, with David Strelich, a name that has emerged in the past week. Carrick recently warned Borough did not want to leave business too late after rejecting a huge bid from Ipswich Town in the summer on deadline day. All signs currently point toward the 26-year-old remaining at the Riverside at least until the end of the season, unless there is an unexpected change between now and Monday's deadline.
That means a Premier League offer.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with what we're doing here. It has felt like for a long time that they are dragging this out to see if they can get a Premier League offer and create a bidding war with the biggest league in the world that also coincidentally is also a league that is absolutely chock full of teams that will overpay for talent and pay a premium above what other leagues will for talent. because someone's shirt has a badge on it that happens to line up with their concept of what greatness is.
Yes.
That being said, um, yeah, put the offer down in front of the two of them. Put a mouse at the beginning of each maze. Whoever gets there first gets there first. It would be deeply hilarious to me if Atlanta just picked their offer up off the table. Like, do I want him to come here? Absolutely. If he wants to be here, absolutely. Get the deal done.
Mm-hmm.
If Atlanta picks their offer up off the table and walks, and he doesn't go for anything in this window, it's gonna be deeply hilarious. They already brought in one attacker. They're
Yeah, Morgan
looking at
Whitaker.
other ones. Yeah, they're looking at other ones. If they do not get promoted and they miss out on a $20 million windfall, either from MLS or from Premier League, especially if he did want the move, because you had the Leicester thing back in August at the end of the window.
Ipswich.
The primary Ipswich. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You had the primary window one that didn't happen. Like, this kind of feels like, let's bring this to Atlanta. This kind of feels like we're turning him into John Collins. Like, John Collins spent so many years being thrown around into every conceivable rumor of being traded by the Atlanta Hawks until it was finally done, and by that point, we had pounded the narrative into a fine paste. Man, I feel like you can only get jerked around in a window for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes just unbelievably exhausting.
Yeah. I love how it's phrased in the article this morning. While the bid wasn't outright rejected by Borough at the time, Tyler, for reasons that are not completely clear, the bid hasn't materialized into a move. We got a couple reasons.
Yeah. I think Burrow's got to be careful, because it's not like this just affects this window.
Ooh.
This is you have a reputation of being a club that's either easy to work with or difficult to work with. And it's one thing to reject an offer because you just don't agree with, the timing or the amount or whatever. You come out and you say, no, we reject the offer. Fine, whatever. But if you are as far along as everybody has said, then now you're just looking like a club that's very difficult to deal with. And you're a lot of Atlanta United fans are suddenly becoming big Borough haters.
Yeah.
And it might be an emotional thing, which is totally fine. Like, I get it though, because at some point, like, you either got to accept the offer and say, like, yeah, let's do it, let's make it happen, or you just got to say, no, that's not enough. What else can you offer? Or just like, we're not going to do this right now. And that's fine. But don't string me along and run out our potential window. And like, you have the Arthur Cabral rumor. You have, which it's not a rumor. I mean, obviously there's interest there. There is an offer there.
Mm-hmm. 18.
Yeah, and and it's not just a mechanism to try to get Burrow to move forward. It's legitimate. And I think somebody even said it in the chat earlier. This is like, all right, if Benfica bites, then Cabral's the guy. Like, and yeah, John said, do it or get off the pot. Like, make it happen. Mm-hmm. But now, like, you go back to Celtic. Celtic, like, Atlanta has had a pretty good relationship with Celtic. Obviously, Giakoumakis. There's other things that have happened in the past. Kyogo was potentially going to happen. MLS might have messed that up. Whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, that's a good relationship. River Plate was a good relationship. Borough is rapidly becoming not a good relationship, and it's like, how other clubs do you want to deal with that kind of
ish.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you say it. Ish. It is frustrating now. It's very frustrating
because Jarrett, people talk.
They do, and think about the times you've made tough decisions. Go back to when you sent Edwin Mosquera out on loan to South America. I believe to Velez, or it's Defensa Justicia.
Yeah, Defensa Justicia.
And he wasn't playing. And sounds like the reports from down there were they wanted Atlanta to take him back. Like, it wasn't working out. Atlanta could have said, "Sorry, you got my voicemail," and just kind of ducked it and left him down there to languish. But they took him back. They got him off there.
Registered call, Defensa y Justicia voicemail.
Yeah. You could have ducked the calls, and you could have said, "Well, no, you took him on low. You're going to see it out." Atlanta brought him back. It created short-term stress because you got the Franco Ibarra situation where Ibarra had to be sent out alone. By the way, Ibarra's killing it in Argentina. By the way, I'm very happy for that kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is playing like the guy who dominated Argentinos juniors. Good for him. However, sometimes you got to make those uncomfortable moves like that to maintain that relationship for the long term. And it's a give and take with those relationships with clubs. I'm not saying you'll put like Burrow on a blacklist, but look, man, like if this comes down to the wire and like it basically turns into Burrow wasn't ever serious about accepting the bid. They just wanted to run up a Premier League bid, so they strung Atlanta along with no interest in it. Then yeah, man, then it becomes like blood feud.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, like there is the layer of an agent who might be trying to squeeze a little more oil out of stone if he can do it. It's something that happens sometimes, man. And there's layers to it, and I don't. The thing is though, whether it's Cabral or ELL, I'm going to go back to. I need to know how much you're willing to commit here. I need you to be willing to come in here and be all in.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously going to get paid a significant amount of money to be here. Like you're not coming here playing on a TAM contract. Let's get it clear. But go ahead on.
There is an alternate reality in my mind. Where this doesn't happen and it is Burrow's fault. Like we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow Atlanta and Burrow meet in the Club World Cup. I know that's like the minimal chance.
Oh, but I'm still waiting for Atlanta to play Cruz Azul and for like Gigi to have to come back to the Benz.
See, that's your blood feud right there.
Yeah. This is the second one.
For those that may follow and want to go down these footsteps, if you go to say Transfermarkt and you go and this is element C as a part of this flow chart. If you go to the Emmanuel Latte Loth profile, you can go into his profile and you can see who the agent or the agency is. You hit on that particular agency, and there are two clients in this agency that have a Transfermarkt value that is 8 figures to the left of the decimal place. One is a right back from Juve. The other is Emmanuel Latte Loth. They're the only two actually that are 7 figures in value to the left of the decimal place with this particular agency. Then if you say go down the top 15 players in this particular agency, there is one player that is not playing football in Italy, regardless of division, Serie A, Serie B, Serie C. There is one player that is outside Italy playing football. I'll give you one guess as to who that player is. It's Emmanuel Latte Loth. Everybody else with this agency.
I was going to say mixed discal root, but okay.
See, but I like that. Or Kim Rontvid, one player, top 15 in this agency, playing outside the top 3 levels of Italian football, the Italian football pyramid, and it is Emmanuel Latte Loth. So, and keep an eye on that, too, as a part of this. So, yes, we have Middlesbrough. Yes, we have possibly the player. Yes, we have the agent. So you have to look at all of these different elements that are attached here and seeing in the research that Latte Loth is the only dude outside Italy that is attached to this agency. You're looking at him as a payday and not necessarily as a development project. So keep an eye on that element in this as well. Like I said, you can go to Transfermarkt, any player you want. You can sit there and click and go, agent, representative, whatever category it is. It's like MP, representatives or something like that. So go in there and literally you see two players. One's a right back for Juve. The second one's Emmanuel Latiloth. No one else is ranked over $1 million in value at Transfermarkt. So keep that in mind that it's attached to this as well. And there's still a lot to go here. Cabral listed at 18. Like I said, we'll catch up with our buddy Nino Torres tomorrow and find out what is it about Victor Cabral that makes him the dude at Benfica. So we'll get into that tomorrow. Before we move on to former players wearing possible present player jerseys that came out on social media that we might get to discuss with a particular gentleman on Friday morning. As you take your sip there and believe in general when it comes to the transfer window, what else sticks in your mind when it comes to Cabral / Latiloth, Tyler, before we move on to others that we know are coming in? At least we think. We think we know.
I mean, I think as far as Cabral, if Cabral ends up being the guy that makes it past whatever gauntlet is going on in Europe,
mm-hmm.
You have to look at him a little bit more of a Joseph GG-esque guy, whereas Latiloth is the Flash. Like he's going to always make center backs second guess their life decisions and worry and have nightmares about him because he's just that quick. Cabral will do that in a different way. He's not going to be the guy that's necessarily going to win every single foot race. And Tom Bogert, he said a lot of this on his video last night as well. But I mean, Cabral is one of those guys who, if you get him the ball and consistently get him the ball, he will find a way to hit the back of the net.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't always going to be in transition. It isn't always going to be in counters. And that's fine. Like that's the job of your target number 9, your target forward is if you can get him the ball, he'll find a way to put it in the back of the net. And that's okay. Because Garth and Henderson have both mentioned they want guys that are going to stretch out back lines. They want speedy guys. That's fine. That's not to say Cabral is like just a slow dude, but he's going to be a shark right there in the box. And you got to have, Saba, his crosses, Brooks, the crosses, like all these guys, their service into the box is going to have to be to him. Get him the ball. He'll find a way to make it happen, which may change the dynamic a little bit. I don't know what that would mean necessarily for Moranchuk, but I think Moranchuk has the capability to hit a dime anywhere in the 18-yard box, and so he'll be okay. But I say all that to say don't get hung up on like, well, this guy's not the first choice. That's okay. The guy's talented. He's not starting. That doesn't mean he's not talented.
Yeah, I have this thought now of Miranchuk as Magic Johnson, the point forward, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, something like that, where atypical size, ability that matches the height and can do anything from anywhere. So I think I'm looking at Miranchuk as a point forward. Jarrett, what'd you think about that photo that Cap posted last night? I think he broke 2 things, didn't he? I think he broke 2 pieces of news.
It's possible. We'll see based on leaks. And honestly, I'm just surprised it wasn't the Atlanta Hawks again. We got to get something like more. We got to get something even more absurd. We need like the Georgia Swarm to break one day.
Oh, get Lyle Thompson to break news.
There was also a comment on that Instagram post as well.
There was
from somebody that said, "Hey, Captain."
Was there like a waving of a hand emoji attached to it too?
That's a good question, but Miggy did comment on it and say, "Hey, Captain." So,
so coming home.
And it looked like
in this sense it's coming home. Other it's coming home probably will never come home.
No,
that's an entirely different conversation with like the curse of Garrett Southgate that will be laid upon England Raw.
Yes, absolutely true. You have this particular kit, and it looked like there was something a little different with this particular jersey that we haven't seen in years past.
That's because it's the authentic and not the one off the rack at TJ Maxx.
Oh man,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, I mean, because literally, I'll wander into a TJ Maxx, I'll go to the bargain section, and I'll sit there and I'll look for things that are,
I saw the Blue Land sweater there one time.
Oh, see, no lie. Get this. One time I was in TJ Maxx, and I know that surprises no one, considering my shopping habits, but I go into this particular TJ Maxx, and I swear to God, hand to heart, other hand in the air, there was an OCB T-shirt, an Orlando City B T-shirt in the discounted clearance stacks at this particular TJ Maxx. I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, what did we do to get this?
And Tom's right. The only way this could be a better leak is if, like, for those of you that don't know, the Atlanta Dream are signing Brittany Griner, which I never thought I'd see her play somewhere. I thought she was going to be a lifer in Phoenix.
Absolutely.
So Brittany
I did not know this.
Yeah,
she's signing with the Dream.
Yeah, last night it was reported that Brittany Griner is coming to Atlanta to be a part of the Dream.
But I thought she was going to be a lifer in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But have her walk out in the new kit with either Cabral or ELL on the back.
See, now that
would be the way it breaks.
That would be the way to do it. Get the Dream on the phone and go, okay. Hello, Dream.
But she's got to be high on your list for the spike too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's got to be one of the first calls of like, hey, are you settled in? Great. Here's a fake sledgehammer. We just need you at the stadium before the game.
Does she do the Messi and Friends game?
No, well, there's no Arizona team because you can't do that.
No. So do you want her?
You could do one of the Texas teams because she played at Baylor.
Or do you just go ahead and get it out of the block?
There's no Louisiana team, so you can't antagonize Kim Mulkey for being the Wicked Witch of the West.
You see the T-shirt that folks are now wearing that says that Dan Hurley is Kim Mulkey without the splashy wardrobe.
I wish Dan Hurley had a splashy wardrobe.
Yeah,
Dan Hurley's whole thing is very entertaining, but the second they stop winning, it's going to get old real fast.
Absolutely.
That's one of those things where, like, when UConn's winning, and they are, it's kind of like this chaotic, crazy, lunatic energy. But the second they stop winning games, watch that turn real damn fast.
Yeah. Oh, Ricky reminds us that we got a kit leak from Goody Mob in the past. So you have multiple directions that this could go. All right. So name your kit leak other than Michael Parkhurst, apparently, Tyler. So name your kit leak. Perfect world. Name your kit leak.
All right. So I'll throw this out there because it was on our Discord the other day. I think it was Kevin that did it. So I'll lay it all out. And this is not just a kit leak. This is a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Video, right?
Yeah.
Over the shoulder, very close up.
Mm-hmm.
Dude walking in.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the training ground, goes up the stairs to the cafeteria. All right. Zooms out a little bit. You see the back of the new kit. You see back of the head.
Yeah.
And you see number 10, Almiron. Right.
Okay. Got it.
So there's Miggy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your announcement for Miggy
mm-hmm.
and the new kit. He walks up and says to the lunch lady, whatever, the cafeteria person,
mm-hmm.
I want a mate, because that's what they have.
Yeah, they do.
And
yes.
She, I'm assuming it's a she in my mind, says, we actually don't have that, but how about a latte? And then walks in, latte lath, and he reaches out and grabs the latte and says, they're really good here, and hands it to Miggy. And then there's all your releases, your announcements, your kit, everything, all at one time.
Okay. All right. Okay. that is 3-dimensional stuff, man. That's a good.
That's 4D. I'm sorry.
That is. I mean, that is laying out the whole commercial and the social media team, and then you get the spinning white A in the middle of the picture, and everything. Yeah. I mean, yeah. All right. Yeah. So it's a mate and a latte. All right. I'm down with that. Jarrett, give me your perfect release of information when it comes to individuals in or out of this window.
Oh my God!
Who dropped the news instead of the lunch lady?
If it were not for the if Saturday's game were not in Birmingham or were in Atlanta,
yeah,
have Miggy just pop up there. That would be great.
Yep.
Because at this point it's the worst kept secret. Everyone knows what's happening and everyone's very excited about it, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally you would have him do the kit as well. Mate and Latte is actually an amazing name to use if they start combining too.
It really is.
Yep.
I'm genuinely upset at how good that is, and it's gonna haunt my dreams for a couple days. I'll get over it probably Friday or Saturday.
Especially if the deal doesn't go down on that end.
Mate and Latte is just too good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah.
And then as far as like how you would announce Latte, I don't know, and I don't know how you do Miggy. Like that's gonna be for the digital team, getting the Miggy one ready is gonna be their Sistine Chapel, because the potential for it to be like their Sistine Chapel of reintroducing a legend who went and found glory for 6 years and might come back on the day he left. Could be a magical little video you can put together there. My favorite thing was I found one of my least favorite things about the Dead Bird app is how many just stupid ass aggregator accounts are there that are just clearly not properly manned, that are just,
absolutely.
They're like reshuffling news from reporters.
Yes.
And like doing it as like, this is like breaking news, Burrow, breaking Burrow news 247.io.
Yeah.
Is one of them. It wasn't Burrow related. It was Almiron related. Somebody dead ass made an AI image of Miguel Almiron in an Atlanta United kit.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
As if those don't exist.
And Miggy was like mean mugging.
Yeah.
When has he ever done that? When has he ever had a look on his face of rawr? Literally the only thing missing was the baring of the teeth. It was one of these. It was a straight-faced anger look. When does that ever happen?
Never.
Never.
But that with the that like with like an AI kit was one of my favorite things I've seen. So anyway, there's that.
Yes.
I don't know how else I haven't given much thought to how you bring them, how you do the announcement of this. I'm just kind of excited that you might actually get that done. But the Almiron thing is exciting. I'm going to enjoy that moment, and I'm not going to let the ELL or Cabral watch
dampen your mood.
I'm not going to let that ruin the joy of Miguel Almiron being back in Atlanta.
Yeah. No.
I'll deal with that later after I have enjoyed this. I cannot and will not succumb to sadness and pessimism over what may or may not happen and miss out on the joy of a club legend returning. I cannot do that.
No doubt. So Tyler is a part of the Atlanta United Informational Exchange Program. What's going on tonight?
So we will have the show as normal, 7 o'clock.
As normal.
I don't even know what day it is, honestly. Like, this has been a weird week.
How weird has it been?
But no, we'll have the show 7. We'll be talking obviously Miggy, Cabral, Latte Lath, whoever else may pop up in the meantime. I also sent you an email. Yes, that is impressive.
This has been in a hermetically sealed, cork-surrounded closet ever since this was released.
I'm kind of sad I never got one of those. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no, the boss went and got like 4 of them.
Really?
And yeah, and so literally this has been on, as you see, it's for those looking at the video section, it is on it is on a hanger, it's on a coat hanger on the edges, suitable for hermetically sealing it and framing it. But this has been like this ever since the paper came out on Sunday, December the blah 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 of Sunday, December 8th, 2018. So right there, that has been in this closet ever since.
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so I could not resist when you were mentioning that and everything going on tonight.
I just sent you a picture
Oh,
that was created. I'll go ahead and put this out there now. This was AI. Kevin in our Discord, when we were talking about this, release announcement, whatever else,
mm-hmm.
he tried to put it into AI,
Mm-hmm.
and it came up with Miggy getting a latte, and it looks like it's something out of like a 1920s crime noir, like movie. Like it's a different side of Miggy. We'll just put it that way.
So Dyla is up against the brick side of a building with like the 1 foot. He's wearing the long coat and the fedora, and he's got his foot up against the edge of the building, and you see this figure that's kind of walking in front of the camera the entire time, and he passes somebody taller, and Dyla, he's got his head down, kind of like in the old Westerns, and Dyla lifts the fedora up, and he nods, puts the fedora back down, and the camera just keeps going forward. Is that what you're staring at?
Just about, yeah. It's in your email.
Okay.
I don't know if you have the time to throw it up, but you can at least see it, and you can describe it. It's amazing.
Okay.
It was very impressive.
Okay.
And not at all what I think Kevin intended to come out of it, but that's what he got. So because that's AI.
Okay.
Anyway, while you're doing that, I will say this for tonight. So yeah, we'll have a regular show, 7:00. Y'all come hang out with us. It'll be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't listen normally to us and in general, in terms of audio, if you can go to your favorite podcatcher and go find our new audio feed on your podcatcher and subscribe, that would be like super, super helpful.
Yes, because you guys had an announcement that you made going into this season about where things are and things like that.
Yeah. So our audio feed. So our audio feed has been a part of, like, it's been us and Five Stripe Final, and the growth of all of these podcasts and websites and everything else has been really, really amazing. So it kind of got to the point where it doesn't make sense for us to share a feed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just were able to take a lot of our old episodes, move them over to our own feed, and we just have our own feed now. That's it. But you go there.
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Go there and find us. Subscribe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Subscribe, and if you take a screenshot, put it on social media, tag us. It enters you into a chance to win a $25 gift card.
There you go. All right, far out. As always, thanks for putting up with our shenanigans on Wednesdays. You know that as we get closer into season in hour number 2, when we talk about the weekend, we get ready for everything. It's probably going to be something of a crash pad for everybody, as we get ready for the weekend and everything, and we'll start talking about previews and all that kind of stuff. I thought you'd already finished that particular serving.
I did now.
Okay.
Wait till the end.
You're going to be in Birmingham with us on Saturday.
Yes.
And you're going to be with us at Monday night on Saturday night on Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. So Tyler is going to be one of the guests of renown as we have SDH on tour, the post game show over at Monday night on Saturday night in Birmingham. And thanks to Scott Flood and the Flood Project. And thanks for you for always crashing. and putting up with all of our morning show shenanigans.
Always.
And so, yeah, go spend time and try and figure out what really is going on with Emmanuel Mate and a latte.
That's it.
Mate
It
and
has to happen now. It has to happen.
Mate and a latte on the fives here on the Atlanta United Network. You got to have DJ. You got to have like, oh yeah, Steve Craig doing introduction for Mate and latte. See,
it's on a silver platter at this point. It just needs to happen.
Yes, absolutely true. All right, my friend, great to see you. Have a great show tonight. We will be sending messages in from we're sending one-liners in from afar.
I like it.
So, Tyler Damas and John and Soccer Tylerese, or what was it that we said?
I don't know. What did we say? I can't remember now.
John O'Damas and
John O'Damas and I think it was Soccer Tyler. Maybe.
Yeah, Soccer Tyler. That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, John O'Damas and Soccer Tyler trying to figure out what the hell's going on. All right. Be good, my friend. We'll see you tonight, and be good. We'll see you soon.
All right. See you. Appreciate it.
There goes Tyler. And so you have Soccer Tyler and John O'Damas. You see, there he is. He's still trying to figure stuff out. And so am I. Now, Jarrett drifted in. Now he's drifted back. So did you drift back? Or are you like working?
I just lost connection and I dropped out, and then I came back and.
Oh, I thought you were doing your Irish goodbye.
No, I just kind of sat there in the waiting room and watched.
Oh no!
I was losing my mind over whatever voice that was, because it was like Steve Craig molded or melded himself.
No, it was not a voice. It was like
it was like that. It's like someone took like Steve Craig, combined it with Harry Carey, and maybe a little Keith Cowan. Because someone mentioned Keith Cowan and decided to bring back the early 2000s.
That's me.
I don't know. Somebody was talking about barbecues in the chat earlier.
Well, I was talking about, going to the opening kickoff. I was discussing how when I was getting gas yesterday morning before I was heading on to the National Training Center, that I saw and had to avoid a 2-car insurance seminar. And Tyler had never heard that expression before, and I said,
okay.
And he'd never heard of an insert
barbecue,
and an auto flambe.
Yeah,
and then the Dunwoody family. He had never heard any of those, and I went on to explain who Keith Callan was, and that you had a knowledge of both Keith Callan and Captain Herb.
I have knowledge of all of them.
Yeah, Art, Madman Art Baring, and
I produced for Art for years.
Yeah,
I worked with most of them.
Yeah, so
I had to work on Zero Sleep the night Captain Herb passed away, because there was no one to do overnights. So Jim Basile called me at oh my God, at 4 or 5 p.m. on a Saturday. It was like, hey, Captain Herb just passed trying to help somebody. And there had been a crash, and he'd gotten out of the car, and he was trying to help out before police got there. And I believe he had a heart attack at the time.
I think you're right, yeah.
And I had to go. He's like, I need you to work tonight. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I slept for 2 hours and then went and worked an overnight shift. It's very, and I get it. I think people my age and younger are not going to know all of that, because they grow up listening to traffic on the radio.
Yep.
When you would be driving to school and you would just hear traffic every 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but it's very funny to me when people don't know all these things, even though it makes complete sense why they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, for me, it is about the Dunwoody family. It is about outer circle, inner circle of 285. It is about 2-car, 3-car insurance seminars. It is about auto flambés and barbecues and all that.
Like I told you, Captain Herb once said, don't ever call it the top end perimeter, because that implies the south side of the city is the ass end of the city.
Yeah.
He's like, and we're not in the business of insulting people.
No, absolutely true.
Oh,
no. Yeah. So that's where some of our verbiage.
I had a sheet once, and I don't have it anymore. Obviously, it's long gone, of his isms for when we were still partnering with WSB, because I was working for iHeart at the time.
Yeah.
What used to be Clear Channel, in the Building of Death, and we had contracted with them to help out with traffic. So we would jump in on triple team sometimes and do weekends and nights. but I had like a sheet of his isms, and God only knows it probably got destroyed years ago. But it was always very funny because it was between that and also hearing Art all the time, who talked and functioned like he was constantly on caffeine, and if he wasn't, then his heart might stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also a very good storyteller, but functionally insane. Very pleasant human being, but
Yes.
like functionally insane.
Yes.
Which there's no way. Look, if you work traffic, you're working split shifts. You're working from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You get a break and you work 3 to 7. No sane human being does that for an extended period of time. Only the unhinged and the unworthy of sanity do that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
No, and
Soccer.
No, well, maybe. There's stuff to discuss with transfers and who's moving in, who's moving out, those kinds of things, what the current discussions are. For those of you who are from Gwinnett County or are referred to as Gwinnetians, that has always stuck. The Friday Follies, basically trying to get home on a Friday afternoon and remembering in the knowledge that, if you're traveling on a Friday afternoon, remember you have all weekend to get home. So those kinds of things that are stuck with us from certain traffic reporters that we carry forward as we go. News, and it's news and numbers. Nashville has acquired $200,000 in Garber bucks from Messi and friends in exchange for an international roster spot. Keep an eye on that roster spot for Nashville. News out of U.S. soccer: Tanner Tessman has been voted 2024 U.S. Soccer Young Male Player of the Year. And so that happened after from the release from Soccer House in Chicago. Captained the men's Olympic soccer team to their best finish since 2000 at the 24 Olympics, helped lead Venezia to promotion to the Italian top flight. This fall, Tessman made a move to Lyon, made 4 appearances with the senior men's national team, 70% of the overall total, followed by Gianluca Busio and Nico Sikiris. So that's news out of U.S. soccer this morning when it comes to all of that activity.
David, because he mentioned the 75 southbound backed up the Big Chicken, always threw him off. I feel like, and I don't know, I don't talk to enough people who have moved here recently to understand the idea that like referencing the Big Chicken is just commonplace for us, but probably is an unhinged and feral activity to other people.
Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you talking about? Well, if you go up Cobb Parkway,
Cobb Parkway, there's a giant KFC with a giant chicken.
mm-hmm.
Has it always been there? Yeah. Has it survived? It was destroyed by a tornado in the mid-90s, and they rebuilt it because there might have been a riot if they tore it down.
Mm-hmm. And there was a discussion at one point that particular branch of KFC, because it wasn't meeting industry standards or business standards, that they might have to close it down. And it would have to
close it down, just keep the chicken and keep it running.
That was not going to be a part of the plan. They were like thinking about leaving that particular branch and then everything was going to go away. You want to talk about an uproar of biblical proportions? You had that, and they were like, okay, no, the Big Chicken's going to stay. We're going to stay open. So that particular Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you go up Cobb Parkway, you're going north, in Cobb County on the right-hand side of the road at an intersection, you will see a 30-foot, I want to say, automated, built in the 1970s chicken whose eyes rotate. That's just part of the allure of the Big Chicken. So when somebody's mentioning the Big Chicken, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about that Kentucky Fried Chicken branch, that KFC branch, north on Cobb Parkway in the heart of Cobb County. So that is a reference point for folks when it comes to giving directions, knowing where you're located in Cobb County, when it comes to a business, a home, a route, all of that. And so
it's especially useful because Cobb County is almost at times horrifically designed.
Yeah.
Especially if you get on the east side of 75 into East Cobb, that place was not designed to live in.
No.
That's a maze.
That's true. So you're looking at Champions League today. And Champions League, this is I think the day that our friends at UEFA were looking for. That they wanted to have a decision day, and they wanted to have a decision day of biblical proportions. So today at 3 Eastern, completely and totally across Champions League, everyone is playing. So if you are a fan of the Golasso show on Golasso Network and CBS and Paramount and wherever you access Golasso, They're having the big guns with Nico Contour, and they are doing a decision day Golasso show with 18 matches going all at once. 18. One more than 17, not quite 20. Everybody in decision day is what you're looking at for match day number 8. Standings in the Champions League. Liverpool is, they're okay. They've only given up 2 goals in all of their first 7 matches. They left 9 senior players at home. So they think they're going to be okay. They've already made it into the automatic qualifiers at home. They're at 21 points. They've run the table. Barcelona, 6-0-1. They're at 18 points. They're in second. Arsenal is third. There's some stuff involving Mikel Arteta that we'll get into in a bit in news and notes. Inter Milan is also at 16 points, but they're well behind on goal difference. They're in fourth. Atleti is 15 points ahead of AC Milan on goal difference by 1 goal. Atalanta is 7th. Leverkusen is 8th on goal difference ahead of Aston Villa. So Villa's got some work to do. Now, those 8, they get to avoid the knockouts for a bit. 9 through 24 is probably where all the business is going to be. The business end of the schedules involving 9 through 24. Villa is at 13 points ahead of Monaco by 2 goals. Monaco's ahead of Feyenoord by 1 goal. Feyenoord has scored more goals than Lille, who has scored 1 more goal than Brest. That's all at 13 points. Literally 8 through 13 is goal difference. And it's either goals scored or goal difference. 8 through 13. So getting into the automatics is in play. 14th, Dortmund at 12. And then you have 5 teams at 12 points. Once again, goal difference separating Dortmund, Bayern, Real Madrid, Juve, and Jarrett Celtic. That gets you to 19th. 19th is PSV ahead of Club Brugge by 5 goals when it comes to goal difference. And this is going into today, not taking into account matchups and juice boxes. We'll get into that in a bit. PSG is in 22nd. Sporting is in 23rd, 3-1 and 3 through 7. Stuttgart right now is 24th. All 4 of them, 10 points. Goals scored is the defining factor with Benfica and PSG. Goal difference is the defining factor with Sporting and Stuttgart. You'll notice that there was a name that I have not mentioned yet. Manchester City is 25th at 2-2 and 3. Right now, they're at 8 points. They need a win, and they need some help. And if they win because of the competition that's being played with the teams directly above them, they should be okay. But they'll be going into the knockouts, and they'll be going into winning and being one of the top 8 and moving on that way. Manchester City's at 8. Dinamo Zagreb's at 8. Shakhtar's at 7. Bologna's at 5. Sparta Prague is at 4. Leipzig and Girona and Red Star and Sturm Graz and Salzburg all at 3. Goal difference to a point. Red Star has scored more goals than Sturm Graz. That gets us to 35th. Slovan Bratislava and Young Boys have no points and are not going to be advancing to the knockouts. So, Ricky poses the question as to what would be the match of the day. And I think it depends on what you're looking for. I think that if you're hate watching, then it's probably Manchester City, isn't it? As your match of the day. I think that you're trying to see if Manchester City makes it or if they don't. I'm guessing hate watching involving Manchester City might be your match of the day. But like I said, there are teams that are in the 8 that are not going to be affected by any kind of movement today, one way or the other. If they lose, they're still in the top 8. Going over juice boxes, Villa and Celtic. Villa's a minus 208 at home. Barcelona's a minus 132 at home hosting Atalanta. Leverkusen a big favorite at home hosting Sparta Prague. Sparta Prague, by the way, is a plus 1720. Bayern Munich a minus 5,000 at home hosting Slovan Bratislava, who's a plus 5422 in the composite, by the way, courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal. Brest, a dog at home. Real Madrid a minus 256. Dinamo Zagreb, a dog at home. AC Milan's a minus 189. Dortmund, favorite at home, a minus 278 against Shakhtar, who's north of plus 625. Arsenal, a minus 179 at home at Girona. Inter, minus 149, hosting Monaco at plus 375. Juve, plus 121, hosting Benfica, who's basically twice that. Lille, plus 117 at home, hosting Feyenoord. Manchester City, favored at a minus 476. Match of the day. Are you hate watching for your match of the day? Is it Villa and Celtic? What say you? Or do you care?
I'm going to be keeping an eye on Celtic and Villa just because they're two teams it matters for.
1 point separated. Remember, Celtic is at 12 points and 18th. Villa is 9th at 13 points and a plus 5.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see what it looks like. Also, I'm assuming Celtic's going to run out of Maida out there at 9 because Kyogo's gone. Daisa Maida's on a red card.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't know who's going to play up top for them. Don't know what the plan's going to be.
That is never, just cuz. And, I think for me, obviously, I'm going to be looking at Manchester City, seeing if they get into the 24. But, yes, the Golasso show is going to be stupid when it comes up. Once again, everything's at 3 o'clock. And, frankly, since you can watch all 18, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you have, like, picture in picture in picture in picture in picture. So what I would do for match day 8, I would go ahead and watch a Golasso. I'd watch Golasso show, no question. And just leave it there and see the scanners moment that happens among everybody at the desk and who has their scanners moment first. My guess is it's going to be Nico Cantor trying to figure out where in the hell we're supposed to go next. That's going to be the big question there. What game are we going to? And this is a day where if you are in television and sports television specifically, you love it, but there's a lot of pressure to perform because of everything going on, the expectations that are going to be there for everybody to get every highlight in, every game in that matters, every game that's here, every game that's there. What's the context? Who's going on? There's going to be a lot of chaos on the desk. And so what I always tell folks is, and I say this to students when I go and talk to classes and things like that, when it comes to talking about live television. Live television is like watching a dog in a lake. You have your dog. The dog likes to go play fetch, and so you're at your favorite lake. You're at your park. And what you do is the dog likes to go chase after the stick and bring it back and bring it in. Say you've got a golden retriever or, you got a chihuahua that, loves the water or whatever. You throw the stick in the water, the dog goes to chase. The dog gets the stick and is bringing it back to the shore. What do you see that dog do above the water line? Dog's got the stick in its mouth, just huffing and puffing, and everything's fine. Everything calm above the water line. You just see a dog focused on coming back to shore. What's going on below the water line? That dog is pedaling like crazy, trying to make sure that everything is going the way that it looks. All of that. That is what's going to be going on at that studio in London today, where the chaos, the calm, or if they want to embrace the chaos and just have the chaos out there in the open, what you don't see is all the producers, all of the line producers, all of the folks that are watching the individual games yelling and screaming out what's going on. Hey, grab this highlight. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? And you got to show it and you got to turn it. It's going to be one of those days where I would just ask that if you're going to watch Golasso, understand that they're flying at 500 miles an hour and they're trying to make everybody happy.
Oh man, their producers and whoever's running their 3-play is going to be in, and I imagine they'll have multiple people doing 3-play. which is it's a 3-point editing software for like pulling. You'd use a 3-play to pull highlights, basically. Like in the moment, that 3-play is kind of how you're going to capture the highlights, load them up real quick, and have them ready to go for a replay for a live broadcast. Whoever's doing that, whoever's doing their capture in their video room is going to be, this is their psalm, because they're going to be having to watch all of these games at once, catching every goal, and if they miss it, scrubbing back, grabbing said goal, and having it ready to go quickly with correct information relayed to the talent. Because, yes, the talent will be watching the games, but they're also going to be talking on the desk. You know, it's not an entertaining show if Nico and everybody is just staring at the TV.
Yes.
It's not an entertaining show. They're going to be talking and bantering and having fun with it. So it's going to be a lot on, the people behind the scenes.
Yep.
To make sure that all the information is right and you're getting it to the talent so that they can just roll with it and run with it. It is going to be an absolute fire drill, and it should be fun.
Mm-hmm. So accept it for that, where it's going to be chaos. I would say, once again, I would agree, Celtic and Villa is probably going to be in there. Keep an eye on everybody that's from like 8 to 13, and then Manchester City specifically. They got to win, and they got to put up a number. So when it comes to Champions League, these are the kind of days I think that with the reorganization of the competition, this is what they were looking for. Everybody starts at the same time, and I wonder how you're going to control 18 matches starting into the second half. It's not quite like decision day in the Prem where you can sit there and navigate 10. You got to navigate 18. What do those second halves look like? So we got to keep an eye on that today. Enjoy 3 o'clock from 3 to 5. Enjoy the chaos. Watch Golasso, as Harry says. And then make sure that you enjoy the experience of the Champions League, because, like I said, when they reorganized everything, got everything out of the group stage, everybody's in a pile. This is the kind of day that they were looking for. Quick note to keep an eye on from Herman Garcia Grova. Foster Gillette just wants to continue to throw money at problems, especially at Estudiantes. And it looks like there is a verbal agreement with the Gillette Group, Cincinnati, and Lucho Acosta. So keep an eye on that. All right, time to say hi to everybody and get back to the top of the order and see what we've missed so far on a Wall Pass Wednesday. I do want to get back into the layout of the competitions in the United States, where MLS teams, where USL Championship teams, where USL League One teams. And this is the one thing that we didn't get to talk to Tyler about. And they'll probably talk about it tonight on Scarves and Spikes. That's the one thing I didn't get to talk to Tyler about, was the layout of the cups, who's going where, and all of that. So we'll get into that here. We have been notified through our intrepid producers in the Twitch pitch. TST is back. 48 men's teams, 16 women's, June 4 through 9 in Cary. 2 $1 million championships, and we have returning teams that are that have, some of them have been announced. And once again, all this is at WakeMed, like it was last year. So 2 $1 million prizes. And let's see, Wrexham. Let's see, Dortmund. See now, and this is where hashtag United's back, Valencia's back. Who's your Army? And so 28 of the 48 look like they have been figured out. So teams playing on the women's side, it is U.S. Women, Wrexham, Angel City, and Courage. They have announced 4 teams. So 4 of the 16 teams have been announced, and it looks like 28 of the 48 on the men's side have been announced. I need to take it full screen to kind of stare at it. But, Quick Goal looks like they're in. Trident's in. Tobacco Road is in. So Saturday Football is in. Bunch of familiar faces. So the official numbers and announcement, June 4 through 9, Cary, North Carolina, TST is back. 2 $1 million prizes, 1 on the 48 men's side, 1 on the 16 women's side. So we'll keep an eye on that. So morning, Derek. Morning, Alex. Morning, Ricky. Morning, Emilio. Let's see. So morning 4 card. Yeah, Tom Boger definitely been busy. Rich Smith. Good morning, Rich. It's been a while, I think, since you've been here. So, good morning to Rich. Thanks for dropping by. Morning, Tom. Morning, David. And Ricky, good morning. Yeah, Rich, this is, what I do sometimes with the wardrobe. Yes, absolutely. What I do is, I don't know if you guys know this, but I like the more obscure things, the better. If it's a dead league, the better. If it's obscure, the better, and I'll wear it. So I'm trying to not wear my soccer sweatshirts into the ground, like, the Pele one that I have from Roots of Fight. Uh, the soccer's just better in Atlanta. All of the Roots of Fight ones, the San Marino national team. I'm trying to widen it out. And I figure since we're getting close to spring football season, may as well start breaking out the old dearly departed XFL gear. So yes, this is our Houston Roughnecks representation today. Do not be surprised if I continue to wear these, along with T-shirts when we get into better temperatures. Yes, barbecue. When we got into our traffic discussion, barbecue and 2-car, 3-car insurance seminar and top end and inner circle and outer circle of 285 and Friday Follies with the funky music and all of that. Definitely. Yes, barbecue, definitely another good one. And it's been over 20 years. 20 years since Keith Callan left us. Tom, morning. Always constantly amazed at the number of people who don't realize if you have an extremely minor incident where there are no injuries, you're supposed to get your damn car. Steer it and clear it. State law, steer it and clear it. Yesterday, by the way, I was driving back from the National Soccer Training Center. And it was, there was an 18-wheeler on the 285 section, because you have the old National Highway section of, like, you're coming north on 85, and you get to that section right there at 285 where you have the choice of going north on 285, south on 285, getting off and going on Old National Park, where you're staying on 85 and go to the airport. So I stayed on 85 because everything was starting to get backed up on 285, and I come underneath that on-ramp, and I see literally the cab of an 18-wheeler is gone. I mean, it's white smoke. That's how long that thing had been on fire. And you look at the cab of the 18-wheeler, and the whole 18-wheeler was still kind of going, but nothing left. Just the bones of the inside of the trailer were there. Everything on the outside had completely gone. So I mean, it was crazy driving past that, and that's kind of what got me on the tour this morning of thoughts when it came to traffic and traffic accidents and Friday Follies and all that kind of stuff. So morning, Abby. Let's see. Yeah, man, over 20 years. Keith Callan. Ricky has applied to a gig at the National Training Center. Get a chance to see it. Because, like I said, right now, it's a two-lane paved road, the in and the out that's there. Big parking lot. And then really right now you see the 1/4 built training center, and then you have the fields and everything that will be there down and off to the left as you come in the main entrance. So that's kind of where it is right now, but it's cool to see where it has been, where it is from where it's been. So very cool. Morning, Harry. Good to see you. Let's see, Abby. Abby and flags. We got to keep Abby on her toes, trying to get all the flags squared away. And this is when Tom Bogert spent like 9 minutes on Latte Lath and Cabral. Whoever gets to the finish line first. Once again, remember, we don't know what we don't know. But at the same time, it is always safe to assume, and the information being out there about Latte Lath and Cabral, that they're not just eating one thing on their plate at a time. I do that. But you're not just eating one thing on your plate. You look at it and you go, oh, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, green beans, cornbread. I'm not just eating the cornbread first, and then I'm going to the meatloaf, then I'm going to the mashed potatoes. They mix their foods. I don't. But just in general, just know that any front office worth its salt is eating a little bit from each of parts of what's on the plate. They're not just eating the mashed potatoes. They might mix it with the green beans and the gravy a little bit, might mix it with the meatloaf, but they're not just doing one thing at a time. It's not solo tasking. So they're keeping an eye on one. And right now, and I mentioned this yesterday, that you look at Middlesbrough, and Middlesbrough might be wearing out their welcome. Was it fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you? Is that right? Fool me once, shame on me. Yeah, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you. So with what happened with Ipswich last summer, don't think Kieran McKenna ain't talking, and don't think that he didn't hold that info either. So, hey, what was it like dealing with Borough? Well, I'll tell you. You have Atlanta United dealing with Borough. So what's it like dealing with Borough? Well, I'll tell you. Don't think that Chris Henderson ain't talking after this is over. Don't think that Garth Lagerway ain't talking after this is over. Don't think Ronnie Dylan might be, sharing info and intel when all this is over. Hey, what was it like dealing with, I'm kind of interested in Morgan Whitaker. What do you think? I'm interested in bringing Aiden Morris back. What do you think? I'm interested in Mark Travers in net. What do you think? Well, dealing with them was X, Y, and Z. So this in the long run, and even in the short run, think of the summer window coming up in, 5 months. This continued pattern by Middlesbrough might put them on a list. Might put the agent for Latte Loth on a list. Because like we said earlier, the agency that deals with Latte Loth. All right, so let me go and I'm going to go, it's like MP, but I want to get the name of the agency right. So hang on. So, all right. So go to Transfermarkt. You hit accept and continue because they like to do the, they like to do the thing. Go to MP Management. They go player agent. You click on it. You hit it. Player Management, MP Management. They have 30 players. One player in the first tier of football. And it's the right back at Juve, Nicolas Savona. Total market value of the 30 players attached to MP Management, 27.9 million euro. So basically, if you take Savona, who is 21 and under contract to Juve through 2029, that 14 million. And Emmanuel Latte Loth, who is marketed at 10, 24 million right there. So the remaining 28 players MP Management has 3.9 million euro value. So basically averaging like 100,000 each. Latte Loth is the only player that is currently playing outside of Italy that MP Management is keeping their eye on, or that has in their stable. Everybody else, literally 28 players valued at 3.9 million euro. So what is that averaging? I mean, that's their market value. Savona at Juve at 14, Latte Loth at 10. The next highest valued player is 800,000 euro. A right winger at Spezia. Then 400,000, a 21-year-old out of Mantova in Serie B. Sorry, I was mistaken. Fortuna Liga 1 in Poland for Alassane Sidibe. Two of the top five, and Sidibe's values at 350,000 euro. He plays at Arka Gdynia in the Fortuna 1 Liga in Poland. So two of the top five. But Latte Loth and Savona are the only two that are 7 figures to the left of the decimal place. Sorry, so that's my bad. Everyone, Serie A, Serie C, Serie B, Serie D, Primavera 1, all the way down the list. And they actually, you go to the Miami FC, and Kadim Njai, a keeper, a Senegalese keeper, right now is part of MP management. But 2 of the top 5 attached to only the 2 of the top 5 that are MP management, 7 to the left of the decimal. Everybody else, 6 figures and below. Latte lost 10 million. So that's where the agent is. That is where the agent is. So just keep an eye on what the agent might be thinking, what the agent might be wanting to do, considering, like I said, all these other clients. Fortuna 1 in Poland. You keep going down the Italian divisions, and then you have the keeper, Njai, for the Miami FC. Forgot to do this. So that's what you're staring at when it comes to the Miami FC and all of the other things that are attached. Now, keep an eye on the agent. Keep an eye on Latte Loth. We still don't know the injury. Won't know that till Friday, considering they play on Monday. Cabral might be the agent sitting there trying to gin up interest to drive up the price again for his client. I mean, that's what agents do. So you're looking at all of those elements that are attached to this entire process. All of this process. Let me try something real quick. There we go. I was wondering where it was. I actually did it, and I didn't screw anything up. So that's what you're looking at, involving an agent and a player and the best interest of both. The team wants a big payday. Agent wants a big payday. You got to find from the player, do you want to be here? But what we read this morning from T's Side Live in the Gazette, they're wondering why it hasn't happened and why Premier League clubs aren't knocking on the door. That, to me, is the rub with Latte Loth. Middlesbrough's like, well, we'd like a Premier League. That's why you did this. Middlesbrough and the agent once again looking to get his client to the Premier League. Like I said, I don't know where Latte Loth is in this because we've seen both sides. We've said, oh, he wants to be here, and then we've also seen, no, he hasn't. So once again, consider who is saying what they're saying and where they're saying it from and the relationship to the transaction. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on all of that where Latte Loth is concerned. Benfica could be chaos. Once again, agent, club, player. Bidding wars, different leagues. Everybody's got to rush because you've got till the 3rd. 29, 30, 31, 1, 2, 6 days. 6 days left in this window. So keep all of these 3-dimensional aspects when it comes to transactions in play. Player, agent, club, from each of these. And what's being said about any and all and what the relationship is and what the benefit is of an individual or a group to say what they're saying. But just where Latte Loth is concerned, second player that MP management has that is over $1 million, and he's at 10. Savona 14. Right now he's right back at Juve. Young kid. So that's where Latte Loth is concerned. So if we were to go down the Victor Cabral route, and I know that I need to discuss Open Cup and where everybody's going to be and all those kind of stuff. So Cabral at Benfica, as I sit there and I look at something and I'm like, what? So Arthur Cabral at Benfica. Talents Sports is his current I don't want the advertisement. I really don't want the advertisement. The advertisement blocking my my goals and aspirations here. There's an advertisement, by the way, that is just literally blocking my entire page. And I don't want. Well, maybe if I click on the advertisement, does it go away? St. Augustine, Florida. No, apparently it doesn't. So Arthur Cabral, let's try it again, and we'll see if we can block out what we were looking for. So Cabral at Benfica, Talents Sports, and they got a blue check mark from Transfermarkt. 63 players, 25 of them first tier, 17 rumors. Total market value of the 63 players, 137.5 million euro. Cabral is one of the top 5 at Talents, and they're based in Brazil. Kevin, who's at Shakhtar, Arthur Cabral at Benfica, both listed at 12. So they're the 2 top players that Talents has, and they're based in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So keep an eye on that when it comes to the Cabral relationship going forward. All right. Let's see. Yeah, and morning, Jeffrey. I think this is the first time that Jeffrey is here. No, he's not faking. I don't think he's faking an injury to come to the States. I don't want to go. 11th minute against Preston North End. Have heard no update. Won't until Friday. Tom doesn't think there's any chance. Still be talking about it if he didn't want to come. He's got enough trust in the front office for that. And Ricky, and this seems to be the prevailing opinion. If they lose the sale and don't get promoted, I'm going to laugh really, really hard. Yeah, if they lose this sale on La Tela for the second window in a row, first time was for a Premier League club. This time you have an MLS team who wants to cut you a check, but they're not, they're not pulling the trigger. So there's something here. Is it club? Is it player? Is it agent? Have to take all 3 into account each and every time. And what benefits whom. But yes, you're getting a lot of folks on this side of the Atlantic who might be sitting there saying, I hope that Middlesbrough just stumbles. Falls flat on their face in all of this. So there you go. Emilio thinks that Latte Loth needs to stand up to his agent. And Tom once again reinforces the point. It's about players that want to be here. So keep an eye on all of that. Abby has the shirt on today that matches the mug. So Abby once again busting out the Ted Lasso today. How likely are they of going up? Ropes asks. So right now, EFL Championship, and I know, like I said, I know we've got to get into who's playing what and where in Major League Soccer, because we kind of talked about it yesterday and just kind of went and said who was going where. So we got to talk about that. So the league table right now in the EFL, Middlesbrough is 6th. They are in the last promotion playoff spot, but it is a street fight. Leeds and Sheffield United and Burnley, and they're separated by 3 points. 2 automatically promoted. Right now it would be Leeds and Sheffield United. Sheffield United, by the way, signed Chris Wilder to a contract for another 2.5 years. Burnley at 57, Sunderland at 55. Then there's a gap. And then from 5th to 13th, they're separated by 6 points with 16 matches to go. West Brom's at 44 ahead of Middlesbrough on goal difference. So if the playoffs started today, draw a line. Middlesbrough at Burnley, West Brom at Sunderland would be your fixtures in the promotion playoffs. Leeds and Sheffield United would be promoted back to the Premier League. But, however, Blackburn, who's lost 4 of 5, is at 42. They're in 7th. Bristol City, Watford, Sheffield Wednesday, all at 41, separated by goal difference. Norwich at 39, Coventry City ahead of Queen's Park Rangers at 38 on goal difference. 6 points, 5th through 13th in the championship. So it's going to be a street fight for the rest of the season, trying to figure out who's going to be the 5 and the 6 and where 1, 2, 3, and 4 all figure. They need help. But they spent $6 to $8 million on Morgan Whitaker from Plymouth Argyle, who are at the bottom of the championship. And I think they're 6 or 7 points adrift right now from safety. So they sold one of their top talents. $6 million plus another 2 in add-ons to help with the attack up top. And they're still chasing after other folks to possibly help them along. So that's what you're staring at. Conversation about the front office from Emilio, Ricky, and Tom. And this is what I think a lot of folks are looking at. I don't think that there's going to be enough angst or anger if it's Atlas, but you get Cruz Azul in Leagues Cup. I want Cruz Azul in Mercedes-Benz. That's what I want. That one is what I'm looking for. Let's see. Ricky and David. David with Miggy and Saba and Edwin pushing pace. Lennon, Miranchuk, Amador dropping dimes. The target striker's fine. And then we got into the kit leak with Brittany Griner and what the possibilities with that are with Ricky and Emilio, and the Discord notification about the promo. Yes, Ricky, time is a flat circle. Alex reminding me that that Miggy and Julio and Ciso got into one once for an example. Oh, I was just talking about just in general for a photo. When has Miggy for a still photo, not anything attached to game activity, has he done? I can't think of one. I legitimately can't think of one. But it'd be fun. It'd be fun to see all the stuff that we've been thinking about. But yeah, Mate and Latte. I think that's probably your nickname, by the way. Tom doing production elements. Slow fade from Black. Conti, Jason, Miggy slowly fading in as well. Comes walking through the tunnel onto the pitch. Looks around. Camera circles on the 360. Looking forward to it. Does anyone else have the golden MLS Cup champagne bottle? I do not. Ricky's got the wine bottle. One preserved and one drank. Okay. Ricky's just Miggy fading in from the black with a bunch of Lisan El Gaib chants. Let's see. We got into traffic and the big chicken and what to look at in the 7v7. Tom, yeah. Simple Mind, Soft Cell, Modern English, doing Chastain. I know. I probably won't be able to go because of soccer. You have to enjoy it for me and let me know what's going on. Yeah, Harry discussing Golasso channel. Without question. Without question. That's what you're staring at. So David said he listened to Jason on AST last night on the domestic competitions Major League Soccer. David likes being a formulaic method qualification of MLS next teams that may be very interesting given turnover of second clubs. So we'll see there what's going on involving that. So yeah, that would be interesting. Abby's catching up, hoping all of the construction will be done today, please. Plumbers now, appliance repair guy coming a little later. I'm thinking that's more of an Oi Gewalt and not an Oi Vey, but I'm hoping it stays a Vey and doesn't turn into a Gewalt. Emilio, is a week for results to come back during the closing of a window. Kind of curious. It's a week for results. Yeah, are they waiting for results? Ricky says, are they waiting or have they not shared said results? And is Latte Loth, is the incoming Burrow striker contingent on Whitaker is already in. They are looking at others like Strelich we were talking about, but I think Strelich would be a result of Latte Loth being sold because they've already invested $6 million base plus $2 million add-ons. And I think that what you would be looking for is the 18 plus 2 or the 20 plus 2 with Latte Loth and take that money and turn it into another striker as they were looking at Strelich. So I think Whitaker, to me, I thought that Morgan Whitaker coming in for Burrow was a first step and that they were looking to flip Latte Loth for a number, which would be double what they invested in Whitaker so they could pick up someone else. So if that is the correct interpretation, right now Middlesbrough would have to make a deal because they've already spent £6 million that I don't know if they had. Like I said, that's how I'm viewing it anyway. Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine if Burrow collapses and gets relegated? They wouldn't get relegated, but I think more importantly, if they collapsed and didn't make the playoff promotion semifinals, the field of four, if they didn't make the promotion playoffs, that would be the thing that people would sit there and go, ha, ha, ha. Okay, so Tom did the Lord's work and said that United doesn't play that weekend. But do the twos and do we have high school or college? So that's the question. See, SDH is all over the place. And we will soon know where we are going, but we are starting a lot of our broadcast with the Creek Cup, with the high school coverage in a couple of weeks. And we will be at Johns Creek and we will be at Northview for this massive high school tournament for the Creek Cup involving a lot of folks, a lot of schools from the Southeast. I mean, Dothan's coming up to be a part of this thing. So 4-day tournament involving a lot of high schools, boys and girls. Saturday, it's going to be a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in a couple of weeks. Creek Cup's going to be on SDH and SDH2. So keep an eye out for all of that as we go. So keep an eye on that. Okay. Man, it might be tomorrow in hour number 1 before we get into what happened yesterday. So North American Cups, who is where, and whom. But anyway, here's the qualifications and the overview. The CONCACAF Hemispheric Extravaganza, that's set by CONCACAF. Leagues Cup, 18 MLS clubs qualify to match the 18 Liga MX. I think it's going to be top 9, the top winners, and then the top 7 after that would be knockouts. But top 9 teams in each MLS conference from the prior season qualify. Due to Vancouver's participation in the Triple C and defending CAN champ, Vancouver not in Leagues Cup, San Diego FC in. Open Cup. MLS first teams participating increases from 8 to 16. In addition, 10 MLS Next Pro teams compete in the tournament. The 16 participating MLS teams are determined as follows. Only U.S.-based clubs eligible to participate in Open Cup. Now, that'd be a fine kettle of fish if, CAN champ decided they got knocked out early. Yeah, we'll bring in Forge, but you're not U.S. But we want to play, and you can't. MLS teams not competing in Leagues Cup or CONCACAF automatically qualify for Open Cup. For the 25 tournament, this accounts for 9 of the 16 MLS teams. Remaining teams determined by Supporter Shield standings, excluding teams competing for CONCACAF, that accounts for 7 in the 25 tournament. And the CAN champ is the 3 teams that are based up there, Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. So CONCACAF, 10 MLS clubs competing in the tournament, begins in a week, ends June 1st. LAG, Crew enter in the round of 16. 8 others begin play in round 1. Leagues Cup, 18 plus 18, starts July 29, goes from July 29 to August 31st. Open Cup, 16 competing MLS teams will enter Open Cup in the round of 32, 8 hosting their opening matches. Open Cup gets 10 MLS Next Pro teams entering in the first round. CAN champ is CAN champ. So, CONCACAF, FC Cincinnati, Colorado, Crew, LAG, LAFC, Messi and Friends, RSL, Seattle Sporting, and Vancouver. Leagues Cup, Atlanta, Charlotte, Cincy, and remember, you can only be in no more than 2. Atlanta, Charlotte, Cincy, Colorado, Columbus, Houston, LAG, LAFC, Messi and Friends, Loons, Montreal, NYCFC, Red Bulls, Purple Team, Portland, RSL, San Diego, Seattle. Open Cup, Austin, Charlotte, Chicago, Dallas, DC, Dynamo, Loons, Nashville, Revs, NYC, Red Bulls, Purple Team, Philly, Portland, San Jose, all caps. Next Pro, Carolina Core, Chattanooga FC, FC Cincinnati 2, Crew 2, LAFC 2, Messi and Friends 2, Real Monarchs, Sporting Kansas City 2, Tacoma Defiance, and what used to be known as Los Dos, LA Galaxy 2, they're now Ventura County. And then the CAN champ has the 3 participants from the Canadian Championship. So, overall, Atlanta United is in Leagues Cup alone. Charlotte, Leagues Cup, Open Cup. Chicago, Open Cup only. Cincinnati, CONCACAF and Leagues Cup, same for Crew. DC, Open Cup only. Messi and Friends, CONCACAF, Leagues Cup. Montreal, Leagues Cup and CAN champ. Open Cup only, Nashville and the Revs. NYC, Red Bulls and the Purple Team, Leagues Cup and Open Cup. Philly, Open Cup. Toronto, CAN champ. Western Conference. Austin's in the Open Cup. There'll be a test on this later, by the way. Colorado, CONCACAF and Leagues Cup. Dallas is in the Open Cup. Dynamo, Leagues Cup, Open Cup. Galaxy and LAFC, CONCACAF and Leagues. Minnesota, Portland, Leagues and Open Cup. RSL, CONCACAF Leagues Cup. San Diego, welcome to Major League Soccer. You're in Leagues Cup. San Jose, Open Cup. Seattle, CONCACAF and Leagues. Sporting, CONCACAF. All caps, St. Louis, Open Cup. Can Champ and CONCACAF go to Vancouver? So that takes care of all of those, including MLS Next. Then you end up with the other rules. USL Championship teams going in. You have some NPSL teams going in, like Appalachian FC, and it'll be fast and furious soon enough, and we'll be following it as we go all along. Yeah, and I don't know. I would have liked to have seen Atlanta United 2 in the tournament too. That's just me. I would have. It would have been kind of a fun thing to sit there and go, yeah, that's what's going on. The twos are in this tournament, so okay. But that did not happen this time around. But like I said, this is for this year and next, and they're going to review it for 27. Stuff from overseas. Here's your update from our buddy Ben Jacobs. Steven Gerrard has been asked to leave Al Ettifaq, and a departure is expected imminently. Michael Beale also set to leave. Ettifaq have not sacked him. He has asked to leave for personal reasons. The club respectful of his decision, and an exit package is being finalized. Not necessarily the end, according to Ben Jacobs, the end of Gerrard's relationship with the league, as he could be open to a role in football development there. No details as to why Gerrard has asked to leave. So you have that news coming this morning. Also, reminder that the Saudi League ends on the 31st. That's why you have all of these leagues all these moves that are being planned, trying to get through the gate. Boniface and Jean Duran. Boniface, a full €60 million agreement in place. Players ready to fly, awaiting Al Nassr's imminent decision. And Al-Shabaab reached an agreement to sign Ukrainian keeper Georgy Bushchan from Dynamo Kyiv, signing a 2.5-year deal past his medical this morning. Al-Shabaab also confirmed 19-year-old Vasco da Gama left back has joined on loan Leandrinho, flying to Saudi after the U20 championships in Saudi Arabia. Paulo Fonseca traveling to Lyon this afternoon to finalize his appointment as manager, expected to sign until 2027. Wolves have held talks with Dynamo Kyiv over a permanent move for defensive midfielder Volodymyr Brajko. Besiktas pushing for Reinildo Mandava, but he's focused on what's going on at Atletico Madrid at Salzburg. An exit is possible. Matteo Dams has confirmed on his own, on Al Ahly social medias, of his €10 million move to Al Ahly from PSV. Juventus, the latest side to explore a loan for Carney Chukwuemeka from Chelsea, also on the radar of Everton and West Ham. Everton would need Armando Broja recalled. The Strasbourg loan is not discounted, with Caleb Wiley being recalled. David Washington set to return to Santos on loan. He drew interest from Saudi Arabia. And once again, we mentioned the pursuit of Boniface and Jean Duran. Now, other gossip, rumor, and innuendo, once again, what to watch, where to watch it, how to watch it. A lot of this is going to be attached to what we know this morning. And Ricky and Derek, hang on. Are you going to have me try and do the breaking news sounder here? Okay, so MLS returns to MLS Season Pass on Apple TV for the 30th season. So the official note is out on Apple TV. You can begin your subscriptions today. Regular season kicks off the 22nd and 23rd. No blackouts. And third year of the unprecedented partnership between Apple and Major League Soccer. Quote from Eddie Q, quote from Don Garber. Preseason action. It is LAFC Club America, February 11. Messi and friends against the Purple Team, February 14. Opening weekend, February 22 and 23. Clubs go to MLS is back. Messi and friends go to hosting NYC. First match at 2:30. Sunday night soccer. All right. Sunday night soccer. We need like the reverb effect with that. Featured game of the week, Sunday evenings. Still think Friday. Doubleheader. Own it. Enhanced production, dedicated studio programming, airing throughout the regular season, spotlighting compelling matchups, dedicated pre and post, enhanced production, studio programming, bespoke graphics in English and Spanish. Streaming free for Apple TV Plus. It is the number one broadcast team for English, Sami Sadovnik and Diego Valeri in Spanish. MLS wrap-up and MLS El Resumen moving to Sunday evenings following the Sunday final match to highlight and recap the full week. Inaugural Sunday night soccer match, San Diego debuting against LAG February 23rd at 7 o'clock. Match also being broadcast live at Times Square. T-Mobile customers getting MLS Season Pass free. Comcast partnering with Xfinity with the integrated experience. And then it's on DirecTV. More ways to celebrate. Onside Apple Sports app is available. Apple Music, Apple Maps, Apple News, Apple Podcast, Apple Store, Apple Fritters. It's all there. And then they tell you how to subscribe to Season Pass. So that is up and running. And now the other move, mentioning Tom Bogert. Yeah, we did mention Estudiantes and Foster Gillette. Estudiantes agreed with a fee for Lucho. No agreement on personal terms. Multiple MLS clubs still interested in Acosta. Saga's not over yet, but close. Yeah, we did mention Herman Garcia-Grova. Foster Gillette and the money that he wants to spend at Estudiantes, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on all of it. Foster Gillette is really spending a lot of money or wanting to spend a lot of money. You better make Estudiantes what the fans at Estudiantes want Estudiantes to be, because if this does not work, it's not going to go well. Abby, let's resume our guesses as to when the official Miggy announcement's made. She's guessing Friday at 11. Yeah, that's probably about right. So that would be my guess as well. Somewhere in there, somewhere as the week is ending, then we can see what's going on. You get the big announcement. He's walking through. I'm home, maybe on top of Mercedes-Benz, a drone shot or something like that. Or he walks through the Delta Club and he comes right out at the 50, something like that. So, yeah, but my guess is it will be once the show is, in fact, over. Once again, tomorrow, hour number 1, wide open. We'll talk things. And there's a lot to talk about story-wise that we haven't had the chance to get into overseas because of everything going on. Oh, it's going to be like 11:10, or it's going to be right at 11, and we'll be on, and we'll look at it together off air, and we'll comment on the whole thing. And, yeah, Ricky did see that I did see that from one of the Newcastle trades. Friday's the 6-year anniversary of him being announced by Newcastle. So it would make sense Friday. So I'll say 11:10, like when we hung up. I'll go 11:10. But I think that because something will be wrong and the video won't have loaded. They'll do a 5 Stripes Don't Stop at 10. And then something will happen and it'll be like at 11:10 when we're off the air. But yeah, I did see that about it being the 6-year anniversary of him signing with Newcastle. So keep an eye on that. Okay, so soccer on TV today. And it is shockingly, see, if we did it at 10:10, that'd be awesome. So today, Sporting and Bologna, 3 o'clock, Champions League, CBS Sports Network. U17 Championship on FS2. St. Vincent and the Grenadines in Bermuda, wrapping up in about 10 minutes. So you can catch the end once we go. U.S. Virgin Islands, Honduras at 4. Belize and Trinidad and Tobago at 7. Juarez and Santos Laguna, Liga MX on FS2 at 10 o'clock. Simulcast on Fox Deportes. 2 to N. Brest and Real Madrid, 3 o'clock. Doubleheader Liga MX. Atlas Monterrey and Pumas and Toluca. See, this is what I'm looking for. Friday night football, Major League Soccer, 7:30 and 10 are your kicks, or 7:40 and 10:10. Or if you want to do it like 7:40 and 10 o'clock, you start your pregame at 9:50. You do all that stuff. Come on the air at 7, do your pregame, kick off at 7:40, fill till 10 o'clock, everything takes over, 10:10 kick, you've got it. That's your Friday night. That's your Friday night right there. 740, 1010. Bang, done. See, we solved the world's problems again. Unimas simulcasting Brest and Real Madrid. Fox Soccer Plus has 2 games in the U17 Women's Championship at 4 and 7. Paramount Plus, Barrow and Doncaster Rovers in League 2 at 3 o'clock. Plus, all of the Champions League matches at 3 o'clock. VIX doing the same thing. Watch Golasso because you will get confused and not being caught up with all the math. So that's the thought. Okay, back at it again tomorrow, a little less than 22, and it will be us going through the news of the day and getting all that squared away, anything going on, updated transfers, all that kind of stuff. 10 o'clock, it's the Power Hour. Our buddy Nino Torres, send your love his way, because if you don't follow him on social, he lost a dear friend to cancer. And so send your love his way, and hopefully he'll be able to join us on Thursday at 10 o'clock to go through everything. And we'll get his lowdown on what he thinks about Arthur Cabral as a player and Benfica and his place and all that. And what he thinks about the deal and who might be also chasing after and who could be competing here at 16+2. We'll see what he thinks about Arthur Cabral. Then 10:30, Nico Moreno, 10:35, last half hour of the show. He'll join us from Seattle, and we will catch up with everything there. So we'll be back at it again a little less than 22. Thanks for hanging out with us as always. Thanks to Tyler Pilgrim. Thanks to Jarrett. Thanks to y'all. Couldn't do it without y'all. Bottom line. So since it is the end of the show, that means I get to do this. Play it safe, everybody. Back at it again, 9:05 Eastern time tomorrow for another go-round of SDH AM. Much plati, I'll play it safe. See ya.